All right, guys, this is how you're going to access and what you're expected to do for your assignment today. Make sure you're in Google Classroom. The assignment you're working on right now is called PEARDECK Homework 7. Click on the link that says sign in to Google Accounts. Okay, you're going to be working on all the slides that's on there. So let's click on there. You know how we normally just select how you feel first. And then here's the first slide. You can go ahead and type your name here. You can draw with a pencil. You can use a highlighter. You can make a line. You can text. You can erase. You can do the undo button. Or if you made so many mistakes you can't figure things out, you can just clear the screen. Okay. Now you can zoom in, but it makes it kind of harder to work on the document when you zoom in by with your finger on the screen. But if you can figure out how to make it full screen, do that. So I'm going to show you guys what I expect. So I'm going to type everything. It just makes it easier just to type. So of course you can type your name on here. So your name. Okay. And then I did number 1 for you. I also did number 4 on the next slide and number 5 on the third slide. And you are to do everything else that's not on here done. You can go to desmos.com/calculator to help you with the graphing. In fact, you'll need to do that. Okay, so number 1, remember we had y equals a times b to the x power. That's the general form for an exponential function. Make sure you rewrite it in that form, and then give me the values for a and b. So that's what you're doing here. So for the second one, for example, number 2, you can type in there. So click in here, and you can type the function. So 1, and then parentheses 7/2, close parentheses, and then you can use the shift 6 for the up cursor, and then X to show that it's an exponent. All right, so that, and you can always also drag your text box so it looks more nice. So there's that, and then identify A and B. So click somewhere else, click on A, and again, you probably want to drag your box because it's not lined up with the variable, actually parameter. So I'm going to type in A is the 1. You can just base all the way to B. B is a 7/2. Okay, so that's what I expect you to do on the slides, and then move on to the next one. Okay, so you can see here number 4 and number 5 is done for you. This is what we've already been working on. This is just a review. Let's go to slides for number 6. So you're going to fill in f of x, a and b. You're going to circle whether it's a growth or a decay. You can use the draw here. You can put whatever color you want, and then you can circle if it's a growth or a decay, whichever one you believe it is, once you get the value for b. Because remember, it depends on b. Fill in domain, type it in there, the range, the y-intercept, the asymptote. The graph, you're not going to graph on here unless you can do that somehow, but I don't think you can on this program. So you do need to make sure you graph everything by hand on the handout. And again, here's number 4 and 5 to help you review what we already worked on. Okay, so you get all the way to problem 10, and then do your reflection, your 1, 2, 3 reflection, type your responses in each box. So 3 things you learned from this topic. Okay, so go back over to work in the notes and just type the ideas that are on there. 2 questions that you may have still. If you don't, still make up 2 questions about this lesson. And then 1 thing you found interesting. And then submit this assignment on Google Classroom as well as PEARDECK. So again, make sure you go onto the graphing calculator to help you with graphing. Let me go ahead and review on here as well how to make a table and a graph real quick. So let's say you have f of x equals, let's see, 2, and then you want to get the exponent. So click on the keypad, click a to the b power. We're going to type x, okay? And then we're going to move it over to the right. Let's add another number here, another parameter, and I'll just add 5. Or let me just make it a little smaller, 3. so you can see a little bit better. And the graph is 10 by 10, so I'm going to zoom out so that way you can see the curve like you would on your paper there. Remember, it's a 10 by 10, right? Okay. To make a table, you click on the settings icon, which says edit list. Click on a table, create table, and there's your table. You can use this table to help you graph by hand on paper, and these are the values we typically use. Okay, then you go on here, you find your y-intercept, which is where it goes on the y-axis. That's where it touches the y-axis. So your y-intercept is at 0, 4. All right, so this is an example. And remember, the asymptote line is where it bottoms out, or if it's the top of it. But in this case, we're doing the bottom, and it goes through positive 3. So your asymptote line would be y equals 3. It's the same thing with your range. And if you notice, in my function, here's the number 3, okay? It says plus 3, which is a parameter all by itself. And the asymptote line is 3, and so is the range is greater than 3. So that should help you kind of identify how to connect everything. All right, so that's it. That's for the review and the assignment. Make sure you complete that for the PEARDECK Homework 7.